Scheduled meeting of our City Council this evening. Today is Tuesday, April 16th of 2024. The time is 6 p.m. My name is Corey Box. I'll be your chair for tonight's Council and Public Works meeting. Mr. Macy, can you please verify our attendance?
Emmons.
Here.
Ogier.
Here.
Murray. Here. Brown. Here. Klein. Present. Short.
Here.
Mayor Box.
Here. Thank you all very much. For tonight's invocation, we welcome back, it's a mouthful, the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Weston from Jenks' own St. James Presbyterian, roughly 118th-ish in Peoria Elm, is that right? Mm-hmm. Good to have you back. If you want to give us an update on what's happening in your congregation, we appreciate you being here so much. The floor is yours.
Well, St. James is in a period of growth and outreach and trying to build some new partnerships in the Tulsa County area. We love our backpack program with the Glenpool Public Schools. We're serving at the Herb Fest. We have a traditional ministry where we take care of the Kids Zone, help the little ones plant seeds and try to foster that interest in creation care, and trying to grow our kids ministry. So glad to be a part of the Jenks Pastors Group. The folks in town have been real welcoming, and I'm glad to be here.
Good. Thank you, Doctor.
Please bow with me. Lord, we thank you so much for all the women and men gathered in this room to serve their neighbor. I pray that they might be good stewards of the gifts that have been put into their care, that the tax dollars would be used expediently, that all the work that they do would be done well and with care, and that whatever concerns the community brings to them would be addressed wisely and expediently. Bless the work that they do, bless their families for sharing their time with us, and help them to follow your righteousness in all things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Anybody? No? No show? Okay. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you guys very much. We have an animal welfare spotlight this evening. We've got Fred Reed coming back to us, sir. How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council.
Looking well.
Tonight, we have Zola. Zola is a roughly 2-ish-year-old little terrier mix that is just an absolute doll. She is super friendly. She gets along with all the other dogs in the shelter. And, you want to she rides in a car very well. She's really well behaved. And walks really great on a leash. And she is looking for a home, so if anybody out there is interested in meeting Zola or any of her adoptable friends, as always, they can call us at 918-299-6311, email animalcontrol@jenksok.org, or they can find us on Facebook, Jenks Animal Welfare. And so this is Zola.
You can take a look, Zola, in the camera. Put on your best. Oh, where's the camera? Oh, right here.
Oh, there's one up there too. Okay.
I thought it was over there. It used to be. Okay, well, there's one behind you too, Zola, if you really want to do your thing. All right, thank you, Mr. Reed. Appreciate you. All right. We're moving on to citizen or public comments. This is the point in our meeting where if you are here tonight and you would like to address the council on any matter that we're not discussing on tonight's agenda, you are welcome to do so. Good evening, Mrs. Montgomery.
Charlotte Montgomery, 10612 South Fur. Thank you, Mayor, for allowing citizen comment. It's very much appreciated.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your service to the community.
At the last council meeting, the city manager specifically stated that the council was only approving an appropriation and a resolution on the horse ranch temporary parking. According to an email from the city engineer today, Paving will begin on the 26th per the site plan. It seems that there's smoke and mirrors being played with terminology like temporary. I tried to explain at the May 2nd meeting that this was more than an appropriation and a resolution. You were approving a site plan that did not comply with the UDO. Essentially, you were misled, and my instincts were correct on what was going to happen. I'm perplexed. Aren't you? Why all the cloak and dagger to circumvent the UDO for a parking lot, a temporary parking lot? Asphalt is not a temporary parking lot material. The UDO is specific that all off-street parking requirements go through the city planner. The city planner has been excluded from this process. The city planner is the only person that determines use and square footage of each use. Once use and square footage is identified, then parking spaces are calculated. Several of the allowed AG zoning uses that would be applicable to the horse ranch require a specific use permit. Is this the reason for all the mischief? The site plan from the city engineer does not provide for required trash receptacle location, loading berth, and landscaping. Why would you pay for asphalt just to tear it up a few months later to put those things in? That doesn't seem like a good deal on the asphalt if you tear it up and have to replace it. The city would never allow an entity to construct a parking lot, whether permanent or temporary, without going through the UDO process. The city has an obligation to follow the same rules it sets for everybody else. At the OMAG meeting last November and at the Persimmon work session in February, the top category of concern was building trust and improving communication with citizens. Staff and council seemed enthusiastic about pursuing avenues where interactions with the community were more congenial and cooperative. Things like this do not advance public perception of staff and council. Since staff and council can't have dialogue during citizen comment, I'm fairly certain you will be told that to take advantage of this great deal on asphalt, you can't change the delivery time frame, or that relationships with Tulsa County will be affected. First, the resolution you approved, there was no start or end date to take the product, and there was no penalty to change any notice associated with the start date. So you can negotiate this. This can be changed. Construction projects always have delays, and their vendors know flexibility is necessary. Secondly, I can't believe that relationships with the county are hanging in the balance if you do not ask for a delay. Mayor, you're the tip of the spear here. You need to have the city manager by a few weeks to get the parking requirements done properly through the city planner. Everything about the temporary parking lot at the horse ranch is disingenuous. Don't allow things to be explained away. Build your parking lot, just follow the rules like you require everybody else to do. Thank you.
I'm going to exercise some privilege here. We're not going to have a discussion, but if we'll do a little back and forth, you can give me a yes and a no.
Okay.
Have you had a conversation with anyone on staff? I apologize for I got to do my throat. Have you had any conversations with staff about this issue since the last meeting?
Only with this city engineer, because I wanted to follow up. I told him that for my peace of mind,
Okay, so you did?
yeah.
So obviously you're not satisfied with the results of the conversation? Yes or no?
No, yes.
Okay. How about it? Is maybe in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you asking for further conversation maybe with someone else on staff? I mean, I hate to know that you're a quarter of a mile away and feeling this way and you didn't call me and ask me about it, but in all fairness, I don't think this is something that's typically going to get my attention, but if you'd be happy, are you willing to have this conversation either tonight or tomorrow?
Okay.
Would that make things, work, is that a path towards resolution for you? Just give me a yes or
Maybe.
no. Okay, you're playing the game really well.
But
This is
if-
like a Senate
if you-
Judiciary hearing when I just say, answer that question.
Since it's citizen comment, I just did this exchange of information with city engineer this afternoon, so that's why I
Okay.
didn't call you.
Well, if you stick around tonight, I'm sure one of these, I'm sure will get you closer to some satisfaction. Okay,
We'll see. Okay, thank you.
thank you. Anyone else? Any Boy Scouts are in the house? Who was going to do our pledge tonight? One of you?
Colton, raise your hand.
Who was late?
Colton Parker and his dad and I had a little conversation, so he may be out of the loop totally.
Okay.
And he's a soccer player, so he's.
Oh, all's
you know, It's
forgiven.
not like he's sitting around all afternoon.
It's
not
forgiven.
coming.
You look sharp, man. Thanks for being here. Anyone else? Public comment, citizen comment? Very well. We will close the floor. We move on to tonight's general business. Item number 1 is our consent agenda. If anyone on council would like to suggest further discussion on any of these items, you may. If not, we can consider a motion for approval.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, thank you both. We have a proper motion and a second to approve item 1's consent agenda. Let's vote, please.
Emmons,
Yes.
OJ,
Yes.
Murray.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Short.
Yes.
Mayor Box.
Yes, thank you. We pull item number 2. Moving on to item 3, and item 3 is the nomination for Mr. Kevin Paul to fill an opening on the General Obligations Bond Oversight Committee. Mr. Cloyd, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you, Mr. Mayor?
Very well, thank you.
Mr. Mayor and City Council, and staff, on August 15th, your beloved City Councilor, Councilor Emons, stepped down from the General Obligation Bond Oversight Committee to join your esteemed group, and so we need to fill a vacancy. Staff reached out to Kevin Paul after expressing willingness to serve on one of the city's volunteer committees. He has worked at both large and small institutions, and he's currently the Chief Credit Officer at First Oklahoma Bank in Jenks. His education is finance, accounting, and has a master's degree in banking. He was born and raised in Tulsa, and his family owns a small business there. He's lived in Jenks since 2019 with his wife and 2 daughters. He's an entrepreneur outside his regular job. He owns several pieces of commercial real estate and also a wellness clinic and CrossFit gym. The key thing here, when asked about why do you want to serve on this committee, is he says he has a strong passion for small business and development, and I see a great potential that Jenks has and would love to be involved in whatever way I can to see it reach its full potential. I also wanted to get involved in local government and learn and help. So staff Mayor Box is also in favor of nominating Kevin Paul for this committee, and staff requests approval for this nomination. Kevin Paul is in the audience, so if you'd like him to come up and speak for himself, he can do so.
Thank you, Mr. Cloyd. Appreciate it. Mr. Paul, good evening, sir. Why don't you come up and say hi? And I don't know if everyone knows you. It would only make sense that you have that opportunity to introduce yourself. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Very well.
Mayor, Council, Kevin Paul, pretty much said everything about me right there, so. Any questions, or
You guys can fire away if you'd like.
I'm just happy to volunteer?
And Matt,
I think I've been
can you fill your shoes?
Make sure you bring coffee.
Okay.
It's a rigorous schedule, very rigorous. Hope to not take too much of your time. You're a Jenks Leadership Academy grad too, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. Any questions from council on my left? All right, thank you very much. Without further ado, if anyone would like to make a motion to approve this recommendation from staff and myself, it'd be very much appreciated.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you very much. We have a proper motion, a second for this approval. Let's vote, please.
Emmons,
Yes.
OJ.
Yes.
Murray.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Short.
Yes.
Mayor Box.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Paul. Appreciate your service, sir. All right, moving on to other business, Mr. Shrout.
Mayor and all members of council, we had a slight decrease in sales tax from the same month of the previous year, just under 1%. And so far fiscal year to date, we are up just over 1%. So we're seeing flat sales tax revenue throughout the year. I think that I would expect to continue to see this throughout the end of the fiscal year. We have 2 checks left, May and June. And then, obviously, the mall is scheduled to open on August 15th, so I would expect not only the mall to increase our sales tax, but also ancillary uses like the gas stations and food and everything else that we've been anticipating. So we're looking forward to closing out the year. Obviously, we have an interim finance director. Tara's doing a wonderful job putting the budget together. It's quite a stressful time trying to whittle away at that, and I think that we'll have budget committee meetings by hopefully the end of this month or early in May. On the River District site around the mall, we have Camp Pickle that closed on an out parcel of the mall property within the last few weeks. We continue to work with the developers on the In the Raw Hotel and mixed-use development east of Simon along the river. And we recently began talks with a potential developer on a project just south of the In the Raw development that are very preliminary but could be pretty exciting. The downtown master plan staff and various stakeholders are in the process of interviewing potential consultants for the master plan, and we'll have a recommendation within the next month or so. On the Main Street project, ODOT's contractor is preparing to bore the storm sewer under the railroad, and new entrances to businesses on the south side of Main Street and the west end of the project are being installed with curb and gutter. The Northwest Mall entrance redesign, the curb for the exterior island has been installed, and the interior curb and apron has been demolished. The north trail section has been removed. On the Elm Street widening, staff continues to work with the design engineer in order to go to bid in the next 60 days on the North Mile. Staff is also soliciting proposals for construction management services on this project. Fire Station 1, we expect to have before council at the next meeting to award the bid, and it will be funded through a loan against existing U.S. Treasuries held by the JPWA. Or that's our proposal anyways. The next council meeting is May 7th, and Councilor Brown, the mayor, and I plan to be out of town, so depending on everyone else's schedule, we may or may not need to reschedule that meeting. And then upcoming events, I believe Heather will touch on the some of the chamber events that are upcoming at the end of this month.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shrout. Anyone from council? Any general comments, anyone? The floor is yours. Any updates, anything you want to share?
I've got a quick one.
Yes, sir.
During probably our coldest night of the winter, there was a massive water leak in Stone Horse. And Mr. Shrout was able to help me get a hold of the right people, and there's emergency crews sent out who quickly fixed that leak. And then over the next few weeks, we're seeing a lot of complaints, on social media about when are is the repair to the road going to actually begin? And I tried to let them know probably when the freezing temperatures are in the rearview mirror. And a few weeks ago, crew was out and made a wonderful road repair in 1 day's time. So Stone Horse is very happy and thankful to all involved in repairing that water leak and the road repair. Great work.
Great, thank you, Mr. Klein.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Brown.
Yes, on the downtown master plan, I know that our planner is out today. We did have a meeting on that, reviewing the various submissions. I think there was a general consensus coming out of those that participated. I will prepare my views from a council perspective, a written report, just to give you some additional thoughts. Before we sign off on a significant proposal of this nature, I think there's maybe one more step that we can look at. So I'll get you something in writing about that.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. Anyone else? All right. in trying to keep this meeting short, there's quite a few legislative updates at the Capitol I wanted to share with you, but we will skip those tonight and move things along so we can get out here in a reasonable time. We do have a very small agenda this evening. So without further ado, it is 6:20, and we will call the city council meeting adjourned. Okay, calling to order the Jenks Public Works Authority meeting, April 16, 2024, time 6:21 PM. Roll call, please.
Emmons.
Here.
OJ.
Here.
Murray.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Klein.
Present.
Short.
Here.
Chairbox.
Here, yes, sir, thank you. Item number 1 is our consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Thank you very much, sir. We have a proper motion and a second. Let's vote, please.
Emmons.
Yes.
OJ.
Yes.
Murray.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes?
Klein.
Yes.
Short.
Yes.
Chairbox.
Yes, we will pull item 2 as a result and move on to item 3. Item 3 is the award of the Crane and Wilson Pavement Repair Project to Cherokee Pride Construction out of Sapulpa, Oklahoma, in a total amount of $262,250. Funding is being provided from our existing fiscal year 23-24 budget. Comes from account number 535215393, which we title our 1 cent capital fund for street maintenance and miscellaneous street repairs. We're on page 109 if you're following along. Welcome back, Mr. Cloyd.
Thank you, Chair and members of the authority. The condition of the streets in the Crane and Wilson addition are poor and in need of repair in various areas. Staff has identified areas of concrete, within the concrete street, within that subdivision that need to be repaired. Also, there's a low area in the southeast corner of that addition that collects water. So staff has created a project and bid documents for construction of the repair on the street areas, as well as installing an inlet and some pipe to drain to a nearby detention pond to correct that issue. This project was advertised on March 14th, and bids were opened on April 4th. A total of 5 bids were received. The bid tabulation is included in this item. The apparent low bidder was Cherokee Pride Construction. The bid form and detailed bid tabulation are attached. So staff requests approval of the award of the Crane and Wilson Pavement Repair Project to Cherokee Pride Construction in the total amount of $262,250. Are there any questions about this project?
All right, thank you, Mr. Cloyd. Any questions from council on my right? Okay, easy peasy. Questions from council on my left? All right, very well. We can entertain a motion on item 3.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Thank you very much. You have a proper motion and a second to approve this contract. Item 3, let's vote, please.
Emmons.
Yes.
OJ.
Yes.
Murray.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes?
Klein.
Yes.
Short.
Yes.
Chairbox.
Yes. Mr. Shroud, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, a couple quick updates. If you'd like to attend the second official meeting of the Jenks Veterans Advisory Council, they are meeting April 23rd here in City Hall in the community room. I believe that's at 6:30. It is open to any veterans or anybody who wants to get involved or support that cause. Also, the Jenks Downtown Merchants Association has asked me to ask all of you. They have finally created their social media presence, so I'm hoping everybody could go out and give them a like or a follow, whatever the case may be. I think they're titled Jenks Downtown Merchants Association, JDMA, if you're looking for it. And they are getting organized and getting underway, so I would appreciate your support. And now we are moving on, and we welcome Mrs. Heather Turner from the Jenks Chamber of Commerce. Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Mayor, members of council. I'm good. How are you all?
Very well. Not as
So we have
chipper
a
as
lot
you,
of-
but we'll try to rise to your level.
We have a lot of upcoming events. Tomorrow is our luncheon with Travis Meyer, and he always brings a fun update on weather and everything that's happening right now. He's got some videos he'll be sharing, so you can look forward to that if you're able to join us. Jinx Day at the Capitol is next Tuesday, so that's a full day at the Capitol. We have a really incredible agenda for that. I'm excited about it. Monday evening, if you're able to go up, we have a reception with our elected officials that night at the Omni the night before, and then full day on Tuesday. So that's happening next week. Also next week, Attain ribbon cutting, Network Jinx. Our Network Jinx happy hours have been packed, so it's really grown, and it's exciting to see that. Why that matters is that it's not just chamber members. It's non-members. It's people coming from different parts around Jinx and, of course, South Tulsa. And so it's been really fun to integrate with them, and we're getting a lot of young professionals, so that's exciting. Legislative luncheon. This time we have a special guest with Congressman Kevin Hearn. So he's going to be joining us for our legislative luncheon, which is also next week on Friday. So next week is packed. We'll have our representatives and our senator, of course, also there, but Congressman Hearn actually made a request to come and speak to Jinx, so hopefully you all can make it. April 27th, the following Saturday, is Urban Garden Festival, and we're excited about that. Jinx America Food Truck Festival is the following Saturday on May 4th. We have more food trucks than we've ever had. I believe we have 48. We have a ton of vendors. I don't know the real number yet, but I think it's 30 more non-food truck vendors. We have a full stage. We have bands booked. It'll be really good. Is this do I need to do the, oh, sorry. Do I need to start over? Would you like me to start over the song and dance? So it's going to be a great event. We have Motley Market. Their grand opening is also happening on Food Truck Festival Day, which I think is smart. It's a clothing boutique that's opening right there on Main Street. And if you've been watching Main Street, you know that we had a lot of fun openings. We had 3 ribbon cuttings last week. So we had Bar Social. We had the new Cedar and Lily opening, which was just awesome. And so then we're excited for Motley to open as well. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, then we have on May 15th, the luncheon. And I always want to say his name wrong. So it's Joe E. Kelly. Is that right? Yeah, with the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, and we're excited about that. So he's coming. That May 15th is also the graduation for our Leadership Jinx class. So he's the special guest speaker, and then Leadership Jinx will graduate, so please plan to join us for that. Economic development efforts, I won't read through all of these, but you can see that there's a lot going on. We spend a lot of time meeting with businesses, and it's exciting because we're getting more and more calls, whereas I think at the beginning, maybe even a year and a half ago, I was doing a lot of outbound calls. Now I'm getting a lot of inbound calls, which is pretty exciting, helping direct them, not just from businesses, but from developers and also from commercial real estate brokers and site selectors and things like that. So it's fun to be able to direct them and help them find placements. And we have 3 that we're helping find placements right now on Main Street. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, community collaboration. This goes on a long time. We've done a lot in the last couple of, we had our last report in February because we didn't have that council meeting in March. So you can kind of look through this, but the Jinx cleanup went really well. If you've seen the trash cans, now they just are they look brand new, and they're in great shape. So that was fun. We have, of course, donated a lot of food through to the food bank, which was exciting. Leadership Jinx City Hall session. Mr. Chris Cloy did a great job sharing a lot. That was our final Leadership Jinx session that just happened last week. We had the Holiday House. So you guys remember that we had the Holiday House created, and we used it at Christmas. And we made a promise to you all back then, and we said we're not just going to use it for Christmas. We're going to use it for multiple events, and it's going to be like a Jinx thing. And we delivered on that promise. We used that. We collaborated with the aquarium. The aquarium decorated it for Easter. It was at the Easter egg hunt. They had the Easter shark in there to take pictures. And afterwards, Kenny was like, it was so cool. We want to use it for Halloween. We want to use it for all these different events. And that was the idea. We want to have it. It's mobile. So Tanner worked really well. He was easy to coordinate with, of course, Kenny and Lolly. So shout out to them because we're utilizing the asset that we created, and that's really important. So there's that. And then, of course, all of the different things that we've had socially. But the Women in Business Conference, we had our second Women in Business Conference, and we had 95 women there at Spain Ranch, and it was really cool to do it there because it's just a lovely facility. Went really well. And what's exciting about that is I think we had like 37 that had never been to one of our chamber events. So that means it counts as a tourism event. Yep, because we're bringing in people that aren't already living in Jenks and working in Jenks. And so that's exciting. That's the whole purpose of doing some of these leadership summits and things like that, is to offer leadership and career development training for the people that are already members or that are already part of Jenks, but also to offer that hopefully in a high quality way that bring in people. And so as the ranch and as we start utilizing the facilities that we have for conferences and workshops, then you can really bring in people. You can bring in some great speakers and trainers and things like that, and that draws people in. So it's kind of a cross marketing, tourism, also workforce development. There's just a lot of good there. We, of course, gave letters to all of our downtown merchants about the Food Truck Festival, so they are all aware of that happening, and a lot of them are participating, which is exciting. This was a request that we had on both sides, from the Jenks Public Schools Foundation and from the Aquarium Foundation, was to not have Splash and the auction dinner at the same time. And guess what? 2025, it is not on the same date. Yay! Are you guys so excited? Now you can go to both. So that was a big win. Had a meeting with Matt Bowler from the foundation board and Liz Flake and Janice, and we've just figured it all out. And so we're excited about that. Now the foundation also knows how the aquarium schedules around Fat Tuesday. They didn't realize what that was worked around or whatever. And so now they can know that moving forward, because you have to book with the River Spirit a year in advance. So anyway, that's a fun thing. That hasn't been everybody's favorite little calendar.
Are they on consecutive nights?
I don't know, but we don't care. We're just happy it's not on the same night. We're not going to get in the weeds, okay? No. We also had a good time collaborating with Jenks High School FCC LA, and so they reached out with their free little library. They are providing the free library and they're supplying the books. And then they reached out. I went and spoke for their group about Career Path about a month ago, and they asked at that time, is there something we could do? We have this library project. Where could it go? And so we looked at the Commons Park, and so Mayor, City Manager, and Greg Helms, who designed the park, met with us up there, because I was like, sure, where do you want to put it? And then Greg was like, no, there's irrigation there. So those, is why collaboration matters. And it was a cool thing for them to see too, like why collaboration matters. I'm not going to think about everything, and neither is the mayor, and neither, but together we can kind of find a great solution. So Public Works is going to help with Greg Helms to get that installed. And once that's installed, we'll do a little ribbon cutting for them as well. And the students are excited. The whole goal is just to get that done before graduation so that the students can be part of that. Okay, you can see all of the things. I won't read through all of them. The legislative luncheon I already mentioned for government affairs. We had our first State of Tulsa County with our commissioners, Dunkerley, Keith, and Sully, and it was really wonderful. And we got so many compliments about how Jenks hosted them, so thank you for being such great host and hostess. Because they felt very warmly welcomed, and they said they just felt like when they walked in, everything was taken care of and it went really smoothly. So thank you to everyone, and to Carrie Vincent, who helped us, because they all had different slideshows and they all coordinated differently, and nobody turns those in at the same time. So that went really smoothly. So thanks for working with us on it. With marketing and tourism, our Discover Jenks magazine, all of our content submitted. We're just waiting on the final draft from our formatter and editor, so that's exciting. That'll come out. We just gave our last 250 copies of those to Muskogee Nation. They took them to some different tourism events to share, and so that's pretty exciting. We have the new one. We have a great partnership with them, their tourism efforts, and all of our new magazines will go into our hotels here as well as River Spirit. So we're just taking a different approach to Discover Jinx. It's not just about our residents. That's part of it. It shows our way of life and the quaintness and all of those good things, but it also is a tourism. That's the whole point. And when you go to River Spirit, we want them to look and see what are the things that you can do here in Jinx and get them to cross that river and come on over. So we have, of course, the Food Truck Festival coming up. One of the things that you don't see in this budget, but you'll see it the next time on this expense report, is that we'll have radio ads for that. So we have hired Griffin Media with 106.9, and they'll reach 302,700 people through radio. And they'll do a live 2-hour cast at the event. Then we will get coverage while the event's going on through Aqua Vida, and they'll do video and everything so that we have another tourism destination video that we can promote afterwards. Upcoming summer destination videos, that's the next thing to come after we're done with Food Truck Fest. Let me get through that. and then we'll work on that. But you guys have seen some of the other videos that we've put together. So this one is going to be all about summer activities, things that students can do either through Jinx Community Education, through different camps, programs through our different sports and different things that we have here to promote and get people to come in and bring their kids here to all of our summer activities. So that's kind of the idea for summer. And you can see our Facebook reach continues to grow. We have 169,000 people who are currently engaging, or our reach and our current engagement is at 70,420. We have 11,057 followers. And then, of course, I didn't look at how many followers we had on TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Those are not as high, but we have active audiences on all of those platforms. And then you can look at just the marketing and tourism and kind of see where that's at. It's not super big numbers yet. We have some of those expenses that you'll see in the second and third quarter as we get a little bit further into the year. So please holler if you got any questions.
Thank you, Mrs. Turner. Is the Discovery Jinx magazine past the point of no return on edits? Well,
Is there an edit that you need to suggest?
I
It
could
kind of
I can
is,
suggest it to you later, but it's not a big deal. But
Okay.
just
You
so
can-
we don't make the same mistake in this one that we did last year. I'll tell you later.
You can tell me later.
Yeah. Okay, any questions for Mrs. Turner from council? Feel free, floor is yours. All right, thank you, Mrs. Turner, appreciate it. Have a great evening. Wanted to kind of share, I don't know who knew, but appreciate the Jinx American Historical Society. They shared, I think yesterday or maybe it was today, my apologies for not knowing the details, that for those of you that may have known him, the former fire chief for Jinx, Bob Douglas, passed away today or yesterday, Chief? Was it yesterday? Yeah, so thoughts and prayers to the family and for any of those first responders out there that may have served alongside Chief Douglas. I'm thinking he was probably well before, anybody know them gentlemen? No, well before our time. But to his family, we thank him for his service. And lastly, on a lighter note, wanted to give another public congratulations to Steve and Linda Eaton, and thank you to Councilor Murray for joining me. They had their 30-year, Saturday was their 30th year on that site for the River City Trading Post, and they did a really nice job. I think we probably had a mini reunion of sorts of all sorts of people that were coming out to visit. So if you haven't ever been patronized their business, you could get lost in the aisles, and I guarantee you there's something there you will go, I never thought I needed that, but you will probably go home with it. So congratulations to Steve and Linda on 30 years in downtown Jinx America. We appreciate you guys. Last call from council. Any closing comments? Okay, very well. The time is 6:41 p.m. We will call us adjourned.